Hey everyone, Jan's here. We're going to be talking about holiday prep for the skin. Hi,
Hi,
how are you?
I'm good.
Where are you? You're in a different scene today. You're with a
Well, actually,
bookshelf.
I have a really large office, and I'm on the other side of the office. This is where my medical books are. And my
Oh,
CEO
nice.
said, Jan, why don't you set up over there? Because
I
it's a
love
much better
that.
backdrop. And it
It's a
really
great
is.
backdrop.
So now we're both in different backdrops.
We are. I'm at my new office finally. We're finally able to open.
Oh
And then,
my
of course,
God.
we get word that we have to shut back down. I don't know if you heard the California announcement. They're saying that anything that requires somebody to remove a mask is now not allowed.
Oh no.
I'm going to stay open, Jan. I know that I'll probably get a little bit of backlash, but I'm in a medical setting. I'm wearing a mask. I'm just going to do my thing. So we'll see what happens.
I couldn't agree more.
It's just kind of getting out of hand, in my opinion. We're taking every necessary precaution, and estheticians' offices and medical spas have always been a safe place. Like we thrive on cleanliness and disinfection. So I'm gonna stay open, and we'll see what happens. You might see me on the news. I might get arrested.
No, you know what? I think that you're definitely not in the minority. I think a lot of people are in the same, feeling the same way. So I don't think you're alone.
I think so too. A lot of my colleagues in the area are like, you know what, we're going to stay open and see what happens. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. So thanks for coming on here today. I cannot believe that it's already Thanksgiving next week. I mean, this year has dragged, but it's also gone in the blink of an eye. So I'm like wondering what's happening with time. But now we're in the time of the year where everybody's getting ready for the holidays. So I think that this is such a fun topic to talk about because normally people are getting together and doing a lot of parties. I wonder how it's going to be this year. I think people are still doing it, but maybe on a smaller scale. But everybody wants to look good. So let's talk about getting ready for the holidays.
Well, you really can. I mean, there's a lot you can do, and whether you've got 4 weeks or 6 weeks or whatever, it's a lot.
Yeah. So where are we now? Are we 5 weeks out? I think.
Well, let's see. Thanksgiving is next week, right?
Yeah.
The next week, and then there's what, roughly 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Christmas.
So we're about 5 weeks. Yeah.
And then you've got New Year's.
Yep. The following
So,
week.
the gatherings are going to be smaller, but still, people, probably will dress up at some point or another, and there'll be some little get-togethers, parties.
Absolutely. So let's talk about getting the skin prepared for if we have an event, or I don't know, people do, maybe they'll do virtual events, but no matter what, you want to look good. You want your skin to be good for the holidays, for when you see your family. So what would you say is the best way to get healthy, clear skin for the holidays? And we're about 5 weeks out now. So where can somebody start?
So here's where it starts. First of all, and I do lots of consultations for celebrities and for doctors and people that own big corporations, and I always ask the same question every single time. Doesn't matter how educated or sophisticated they are. If there was something you could change or improve about your skin, what would it be? So you ask yourself that question. Now let's just say maybe your initial concern is acne, because acne is an epidemic among women in their 20s, 30s, 40s, and beyond. And it's even worse with maskne. Maybe you have discoloration. Maybe it's large pores, it's fine lines, whatever it is. Number one concern. Then ask yourself, what else would you like to change or improve? Now, typically people come up with 3 or 4 things. That's your starting point. And believe it or not, in the next few weeks, you can virtually get to complete total clearing for acne. You can make a huge difference in discoloration. You can address the appearance of follicles and make the skin look really glowing and luminous. I did a consultation for somebody about 4 weeks ago. This is a woman who's with a big corporation, and her significant other is in a different state. So he met her at the airport. She flies out to see me, met her at the airport, and he looked at her and he said, "Oh my God, what have you done? You look 10 years younger." Now that's in 4 weeks. So there are absolutely things we can do. And it starts with the system. And then from there, along with the system, there are things that you can do to address these specific concerns. Now, the system addresses virtually any concern you can think of.
Right.
But when people have more difficulties with acne or discoloration, there are things that you can do in addition to the system.
Mm-hmm. You cut out. I don't know if you're still going or not.
I'm not going, but
I don't know. I have a little bit of a delay. Do you have a delay with me?
I don't.
Oh,
I
weird.
don't.
New office. Maybe we're just getting used to the Wi-Fi here. I'm not sure. Okay, so with the acne, what would you add on to the system for somebody if they're like, okay, I've got 5 weeks, where should I go? We're going to get them on the system, and then what else?
Okay. So first of all, I need people to understand that a lot of times people say to me, Jan, I don't have acne, I just break out once in a while.
Right.
It doesn't matter whether you break out once a day, once a week, once a year, or twice a day. It's all acne. There's no cure for acne. Even Accutane is not a cure. But what we can do is we can get complete, total clearing, and we can manage it. I'm a 2-time Accutane failure. My skin is completely clear. I never break out. So it's about prevention. It's about actually addressing the acne process so that you don't break out. Now that's the system, because the beginning of the process is where your cells stick together in the follicle, and the system actually goes after that, and it dissolves and dislodges the glycolic substance or cellular cement between the cells, and it does it on the surface of your skin also, so that's why your skin looks so really luminous and glowing.
Right.
And then secondly, it is duality.
That's a game changer.
It is. It absolutely is. And again, once you have an acne lesion, that's the end of the process. People say, well, how do I treat it? You can't really spot treat acne. That's the end of the process. So you want to prevent the breakout in the first place. So duality is 2 chambers. One has benzoyl peroxide, and I can hear it in my head. Everybody's going, but Jan, benzoyl peroxide, it's a teenage medication. It's going to dry my skin out. And the other chamber is is retinol. Now, the benzoyl peroxide, this is not the benzoyl peroxide you're going to find in an infomercial. It's not the benzoyl peroxide that you're going to find in the drugstore or even by prescription. This does not dry the skin. And we tested it in weather that was 20 to 40 degrees below zero. And the patient's skin in this study, their skin was more hydrated after the study than before the study. Now, benzoyl peroxide works because benzoyl forces peroxide in the follicle. It releases oxygen. P. acne bacteria can't live in oxygen. So we could spend a whole hour on this, but here's the second chamber with this product is retinol. Now, retinol is not only a gold standard for acne, but it's a gold standard for aging. It's really misunderstood. It doesn't get the recognition that it should. And in that chamber, along with the retinol, is something that gets rid of the acne discoloration about 300 times faster. There's anti-inflammatories. Bottom line, I can take somebody who doesn't have acne, put them on duality, and I can still transform and de-age their skin. So we can actually address the acne, make the skin look more glowing, more luminous, pores look smaller, address the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles, along with the system.
Well, that's exactly what my routine is right now. I'm on the MD system with the duality. And I've been, a lot of my clients are wanting these, and I do deal with a lot of acne clients. So they're like, wait, you're on the same product, you don't have acne. And I'm like, but I have congestion, I have clogged pores, I have comedonal acne. And they're like, wait, that doesn't even make sense. How do you, why are you treating for acne? And I'm like, it's completely changed my pores. It's completely changed the amount of little underground bumps that I have. I feel like my overall texture, the luminosity is better. I only have sunscreen on right now, and I think my skin looks pretty good.
It does.
So,
and the same thing last time. I mean, yeah,
I can see
done
a
a great job
huge
with it.
difference. So, yeah, I'm very happy. So I saw results literally in my skin, I could see a change in about a week. When somebody's starting off with the system, how long do you say they can expect to see a result? And then how long until their skin is clear?
So people usually will say to me, they'll say, Jan, is it my imagination? Or can you actually see something in 2 days? Because what you notice initially is that your skin looks smoother, it looks more refined, it just feels different. There's less inflammation.
Yeah.
And then in terms of the acne clearing, generally the existing lesions go away much more rapidly. And then people will say, and I'm not breaking out to the same extent, or my breakouts aren't as bad. Some people can have some transient breakouts in the clearing process. Some people, it just kind of stops. But in general, within that 2 to 4 week period, there is a significant change where people, in many cases, they stop breaking out.
Right.
That's it.
And then for maintenance, if we want to accelerate it, say they just do the system, at what point would you add something more?
Well, usually when you get on the system, there's a couple of weeks of acclimation. I don't mean acclimation, your skin's going to look terrible. It's going to look better.
Right.
But where, for example, the BioClear product in the system, you just use it once a day for the first week, and then you use it twice a day. So if you, for example, let's say that you have discoloration, meaning uneven skin tones.
Yeah.
By the way, virtually everybody on the face of the earth, by the age of 35, if you've got skin, every single person will have abnormal pigment.
Yes.
Or you'll have background pigment. So even if you don't have obvious places of discoloration, your skin doesn't look as luminous. You know, look at a photo of yourself. Take out your holiday photos and look at a photo of yourself at 20 and a photo of yourself at 30 or 35.
Right.
The clarity of the skin isn't the same. So what we recommend is Luminate Face. And Luminate Face is, it's a game changer. This has actually been written up in the Journal of Drugs and Dermatology, a peer-reviewed medical journal. It went head-to-head, half-face comparison with hydroquinone, prescription hydroquinone. This product outperformed prescription hydroquinone, and it has some really new groundbreaking technology in it. Plus, it also has retinol. So again, it's a product that de-ages the skin at the same time that is going after the appearance of the pigmentation.
I'm using that as well. And you know, from when we had our consultation, my primary concern was my pigment, and my secondary concern was the congestion. And I feel like for me, especially because I had done a lot of outside activities this year because I was bored because we were stuck at home. And I feel like my pigment is like better than it's ever looked, even when I've done chemical peels like Cosmelan to get rid of the pigment. I feel like my skin is more even and stable now. So I'm just so excited. So thank you.
Well, you are so welcome. But you know, this is one of the number one concerns. And you know, wouldn't you love to, you know, go to a holiday dinner or something? Hopefully we'll be able to. But wouldn't you love to go to a holiday dinner and somebody looks at you and goes, "Did you do something during COVID?"
Right. Absolutely. That's the
because
goal.
you know, your skin looks so much better.
Right. No, it really has changed how I feel about my skin. So I'm obviously a fan, and I'm so excited now that I can offer this for my clients. So it's huge. I want to switch gears really quick and talk about the body. I feel like for holidays, some people get really dressed up, and the skin on the body sometimes takes a back seat. So let's address how we can take care of the skin on our body to make it look beautiful and soft and hydrated.
Okay, so first of all, hands. There's really very little out there to address hands, because what happens is we get brown spots, they start to look bony, they start to look crepey. So Marini Renew Hand Complex. So it addresses all of that. So that's hands, and hands do give away your age.
Yes,
now,
they
secondly,
do.
The other thing is when it's holiday time and it's festivities, and you put on dresses that are, you know, expose your arms, and maybe, you know, mini skirts and things that expose the legs. So here's my recommendation.
Okay.
So first of all, what you want to do is you want to use the Bioglycolic body scrub.
I
And
love
what
it.
that is that I don't believe in scrubs for the face
Right.
unless they dissolve, but for the body, you don't have oil glands. And what happens is that dead skin builds up. It makes the skin look much drier. It doesn't have that same glow, and
Right.
it just, and that sheen. So you use the body scrub. So say you're in the bathtub or the shower, you use the body scrub. Now I like to take an old fashioned, we used to call them buff puffs. So it's the oval, hard sponge, doesn't collect bacteria.
Yep.
And I think they still sell them at Walgreens. But anyway, put that on there and use that. So now your skin is just really soft and it's really glowing. So when you get out of the bath or the shower, the next thing you want to do is you want to put on body oil. You don't have oil glands in those areas, so body oil kind of helps to seal in the moisture and give the skin more sheen. Next thing after the body oil, then you can take, now this is a tip, most people don't know this, you can take your Bioglycolic facial cleanser out of the kit and you can actually use it as a body product.
Oh, nice.
Rub it in. You can. And so what glycolic acid does is over time it changes the look of the skin, but immediately you're going to get more of that sheen, more of that glow. Then you want to finish up. Well, you're not quite finished. So then use a really heavy body cream. So again, you're sealing everything in. Think about it if you're in places where it snows. And you just put one coat on. You don't get anywhere near the protection as if you wear two sweaters in a coat because it layers seal everything in. And finally, okay, this is the final part. Well, almost the final part.
Okay.
So then what you do is I take my Cellulite TX. And for me, what I do is I'm very lucky. I don't have very little cellulite, but it's the back, just the upper part of the back of my legs into my buttocks area. Okay. And my upper arms. Now, over time, I've really noticed a significant difference. And when you get in certain lights, you can actually see little dimples on your arms as you get older. And one of the things I like is even when I first put it on, I just notice everything just looks a little firmer. Then it's optional. You want to use a Sunless Tanner. You want to use something like Michael Kors makes a leg stick that you put on, and it's kind of a tinted product. It looks like you're putting on deodorant, but it's a tinted product and it sparkles.
Oh, nice.
So that, if you've ever seen a celebrity on television and they come on and their legs look like they're glowing.
Yeah.
And what happens is that it takes away from all the imperfections because everything reflects off it. So your legs look more perfected. You don't see the veins. You don't see all the other little things. So Sunless Tanner or something that is a lotion that's tinted and has something in it that, gives off some radiance. That's my tip.
That's amazing. So to go back to the Bioglycolic cleanser, you can just leave it on as a treatment.
Yeah, you can. Because what this is based on, this cleanser is based on a product called Cetaphil. Cetaphil is a drugstore product that doctors love because it's really neutral. So they have somebody that their skin is so reactive they can't even really use water. You could actually take Cetaphil and you could remove your makeup and tissue it off and not even rinse with water. But the ingredients in there are actually quite emollient. So a lot of creams and lotions even have a certain amount of surfactant in them as a binder or something like that. So you can use this, and it's great for that.
That's amazing. Really quick, I want to touch on acne on the body because you were saying that on the body we don't have oil glands, and I know a lot
on
of
the back
people
we do on the back, yes.
Right. So people who are acne prone, maybe a good idea would be to use the Bioglycolic on their body, on their back, right?
Well, yes, but most importantly, benzoyl peroxide. If you really want to get rid of it. And by the way, the oil glands can be larger on the back.
Yeah.
Even people who go on Accutane, which is not a cure, it puts you in remission, the back oftentimes doesn't clear as quickly as the face.
Right.
So you need to use benzoyl peroxide. You need to do it twice a day. So you've got to have a way to get it back there.
Yep.
And the other thing is, this has never happened to me, but benzoyl peroxide can bleach clothing, like sheets, towels, clothing. So you know, you need to wear like put on a camisole or something, or just be cognizant of that. And maybe
Right.
I don't, maybe it hasn't happened to me because I don't sweat a lot.
Hmm.
So, but I've never had it happen.
Got it. So I just wanted to touch on that because I didn't want anybody to be like, oh, I'm going to put the oil on my back and everything. So if you have the acne on
Right,
the back,
exactly.
bad idea.
And by the way, if you have keratosis pilaris, which is
Hmm.
where you get that sort of that bumpy looking skin,
Yep.
I even children get that. I had it.
Yeah.
It started with me at the age of 6, and I had it my
Hmm.
entire life, to the point where I actually have a scar because I had a really big one.
Uh-huh.
And I have absolutely none of that because of that body scrub, and also putting glycolic acid on the upper arms because it
Um,
normalizes the cell turnover.
right. That's a great tip. I love that. So let's go back to talking about the face. And okay, so say I've been using my system, I'm on the Luminate, I'm on the duality. What can I do like the night before an event if I just need to like get my skin into shape? I want it to be perfect. What could I do like the night before?
Okay, so let's say discoloration is your main issue. You could do the Luminate Mask. Now, the Luminate
Love that
Mask
mask.
occludes in certain things that make the skin look much more bright and luminous.
Mhm.
And, you know, people are skeptical, but they use that and they do notice a difference, even the next day, even the day
Mhm.
after. So just before you're going to have some type of an event, that's a great product. The other thing is, let's say, for example, your main concern is acne.
Mhm.
It could be the retinol mask.
Yep.
But in general, whether you have acne, whether you have discoloration, one of my very, very, very favorite things to do is Cleanzyme and Skinzyme.
Yeah, me
So
too.
I refer to that as a resurfacing agent, and we have a number of resurfacing agents because the more you
Mhm.
resurface your skin, it just looks classy. It looks,
Right.
the light reflects off, you don't see follicles. So Cleanzyme and Skinzyme are proteolytic enzymes. And so what proteolytic enzymes do is they digest dead and diseased tissue, but they can't hurt normal living tissue.
Mhm.
So my docs who do laser resurfacing, they do Fraxel, and somebody's 2, 3, 4 days out, their skin still hasn't healed, but they're getting scaly. What they
Yep.
do is they can use this, it gets rid of the dead skin, but it doesn't hurt that tissue that's not healed yet. And when
Right.
you do this, you look in the mirror afterwards, it's like it's instant gratification.
For sure.
And
Eats away at all those
you
cells.
can't overdo it. You can't
Yeah,
overdo it.
I actually sell that when I do Cosmon peels for my clients when they're on like day 4 or 5 and they're just like
Yeah,
crusty looking. I'm like, they're
yeah,
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 it really gets rid of all the buildup.
it does.
Can we talk a little? Can we talk a little bit about the sugar cookie
Oh
exfoliator?
yeah. Okay.
I love that.
So this is a limited edition product, and we bring it out
Hmm.
at the holidays. And it's the scent. This has been the most popular scent we've ever done. We've done chocolate and all kinds of scents, but it's sugar cookie. So don't eat it. It just smells so good. And it is
Smells so
glycolic
good.
acid. It's some other things in there, but it also has these little, like the little beads, but they dissolve. So
Yeah.
you can't overdo it. Okay, so if you, for example, let's just say you haven't been really working on your skin, and now you've
Uh-huh.
got something last minute that you want to look really good for, you can do the sugar cookie exfoliator. You put it on like you would any other exfoliator, and you work it around and take it off and rinse your face. Again, instant gratification.
I did it a couple of nights ago, and it definitely, I see a huge difference. Your skin just kind of reflects light after you do that. So
Yeah,
I'm a fan. Um, all
yeah.
right. So one of the biggest concerns around the holidays is that people are stressed, they're not sleeping, they're eating horrible, they're drinking, and they're getting dark circles. So what can we suggest for people who have concerns with dark circles?
Okay, so people used to say to me, Jan, what do I do for dark circles? And I had this really sarcastic answer: pick your parents, because you inherit your blood vessels being closer to the surface. But
Hmm.
we actually have something that we can do. And, you know, technology has advanced. So children, you don't see the blood vessels as much, but as we get older, what happens is the collagen thins, the skin around the eye area thins, and we are more prone to inflammation. So when you haven't had enough sleep, if you have allergies, if you have a cold, what happens is your blood vessels engorge more with blood. And there's pressure in that area. So your sinuses are pretty big, and that all reflects into that eye area. And so as those blood vessels engorge, they become more noticeable. And that has to do with a lack of circulation, which is directly related to stress and lack of sleep and all of that. And then what happens as we get older, those blood vessels can get leaky. And the color that blood is made up of are iron oxides. And the iron oxides, part of that is what's called bilirubin and bilirubin. So it leaks out and it literally stains the eye area. So you put all that together, and voila, you have the dark circles.
Right.
So Luminant Eye Gel was specifically made for that. And I've got to tell you, I don't have dark circles, but it's my favorite eye product because it also just has so many other benefits. But it actually is able to clear away the bilirubin and the bilirubin up to 300 times faster.
Wow.
It also helps with the circulation. It has a retinol base, so it makes a big difference on the contour and the fine lines underneath. And the consistency of it is like a primer.
Yes.
So one of the things I love about this is during the day, when you put it on, and if you're going to wear like a highlighter underneath the eyes or something like that, it floats on the top and it doesn't get down into all the little fine lines and everything. So your eye area just looks so smooth. So it's my favorite product, and it makes a huge difference just in other aspects of the appearance of aging around the eye area.
I've been using it as well, and that's the one product that I do, as I'll do like a little bit of concealer, and it's made such a difference for me because I don't see it like settling into the lines. So
exactly,
such a good product. I love the consistency.
I do as well. And you can layer, and by the way, you could layer another eye cream underneath it. You know, anything can be layered any which way.
Perfect. Another thing that people complain about during the holidays is they feel like their face just looks deflated. I feel like when people look tired, they just feel like everything's deflated and saggy. So what can we do when people's face needs a wake-up call, when they're looking thinner and tired?
You know, it's like people say to me, Jan, I don't know. I just woke up and it's like somebody took the air out of my face.
Yeah.
So as much as 50% of the aging process is loss of volume. And, you know, this is something that starts happening in our 20s. And so I can't go back and fix everything, but we can make a huge difference. Now, when we talk about volume, the highest point of the face should be the cheekbones. And then the face narrows down into a well-defined jawline, and that's almost a heart shape or a triangular shaped look. And so we have in our skin, we have things called glycosaminoglycans, and that's mucopolysaccharides, ceramides, phospholipids, hyaluronic acid. And people always say, oh, I don't drink enough water. Well, you can drink all the water you want, but it's these substances in your skin that actually give it volume. Okay? So, and the primary one is hyaluronic acid. You start losing it in your 20s. Also, hormones can play a role in lessening hyaluronic acid. So, a couple of things about hyaluronic acid. So what we do is people put it in products because it holds about 1 to 10,000 times its weight in water. You can look at any one of my products, pretty much they all have hyaluronic acid. But it's a very large molecule. Just kind of sits on the surface. It doesn't last that long. Now, it's gonna get better. But let's just say somebody says, well, you know, I have certain lines and wrinkles, or I want a little bit more volume, and I'm going to get hyaluronic acid injections. Well, what most people don't know is it's not the hyaluronic acid, it's not the filler that gives you the correction. The filler acts as a scaffolding or a platform for collagen. So collagen forms around it. And how long it lasts depends on where it is in the face and how much movement you have, and et cetera, et cetera. So this is a game-changing technology. This is Hyla 3D.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a different kind of hyaluronic acid. These are tiny molecules. They actually get in. Not only do they get in, but just one of them is 50 times more moisturizing.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Instead of being 1 to 10,000, it's 50 times more than that. And at 24 hours, not 2 hours, but at 24 hours, you still have 5 times as much in your skin. You do this day and night, and what happens is you're making a platform in there for collagen to form around. Now, it doesn't replace injectables, but it just gives the face a more three-dimensional look. Softer, plumper, fuller. Your skin feels more hydrated from the inside out.
Right.
And it's different than other. It's a serum that literally disappears. People are like, well, where did it go?
Your skin drank it up.
It just drinks it right up. So it's great whether you have oily or dry skin, but it's made to work in there. And it even has a molecule in there that stimulates your own hyaluronic acid and your own elastin. There's a lot of other things in there as well, but it's a very different new technology.
It's incredible. You know, my biggest pet peeve is the clients that are like all about injectables but don't do skincare. I'm like, you cannot have rough texture and lifeless skin, but that's like full. You know what I mean? Like you have to have both. And so in my office now, we have an amazing nurse injector, and we're recommending product to go with every injectable service because you have to have both. They really, especially when you're using those good quality ingredients, it's going to make the filler last longer. It really does. People see longer results.
It's anecdotal, but people tell me that all the time, and injectors tell me that all the time.
Yeah.
That it really does, because what happens with inflammation, and aging is an inflammatory disorder or inflammatory process. So what happens with inflammation is that you break down these fillers a lot faster. When you are addressing inflammation and you're also using things that actually can help to build collagen, resurfacing the skin, and the skin is working at a whole different level, it just looks better. There's more longevity. Trust me on this one.
Yeah, they need to go hand in hand. So every injector out there, you need to be recommending product along with the fillers.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about, okay, we're doing all the right things for our skin, and we go to a party or we're out and we've done our makeup, and then have you ever had it where it's like, it feels like your makeup is like disintegrating, or it peels off, or you have like splotches? Do you have any recommendations for that? Because that's something that I think everybody wants to know.
Now, I know this is hard to believe, but I have a recommendation for that.
I love it.
Ideally, what a lot of people, what their goal is they don't want to wear foundation. And I'm not wearing foundation. And you said you're not wearing foundation.
Just sunscreen.
But I want to tell you about a product that you can use with or without foundation. And there's nothing worse, believe me, there's nothing worse than, you're at dinner or something, you get up and go to the bathroom, you look in the mirror, and it's like, oh my God, it's separated, and people have been sitting there looking at me for a half hour.
Right.
So this is a finishing product. This is called Mattify. And this is a product that if you wear a sunscreen that is not tinted, it goes over the top. If you're wearing a tinted sunscreen, you kind of think about that almost like it's a foundation. It goes underneath. Now, what this does is, with or without foundation, this takes your skin to what I call your sweet spot. So whether you're dry and you feel like, oh, gee, my skin looks kind of dull, it doesn't have the radiance, it doesn't reflect, whether you are oily, combination oily, really oily, and you say, my makeup doesn't last, I want my skin to look balanced, but I want it to glow but not look shiny. I want it to have radiance but not look oily. It takes you to that sweet spot. And it fuses. If you wear a foundation, it fuses with it. So one of the comments, people get obsessed with this because they'll say, I put my makeup on at 7 o'clock in the morning. At 9 o'clock at night, it still looks the same. And don't ever do this, but I had somebody say to me, I fell asleep on the couch. I had my makeup on. 4 o'clock in the morning, I woke up and I ran into the bathroom. Oh my God, I got my makeup on, and it looked perfect. So it really is. Go
I
ahead.
was going to say, what do you say for people who want to have like a really dewy, glowy look? Should they still use the mattify as a primer and then maybe use
Yes,
product to make it glow?
because what it does is it has the ability to absorb and also to deposit. So any place where you're oily, it
Mm-hmm.
actually has almost an unlimited capacity to capture the oil. Any place where you're dry, it deposits. And it has conditioning agents in the skin, and it like again, it just kind of takes everybody to that sweet spot.
Yeah, perfect. I like that. People are asking if we're going to answer questions. Yes, we're just going to go through some more of the questions that we took before, and then we'll read all of your questions and we'll make sure we answer them. I want to talk about lips. Let's talk about lips because especially moving into the winter months, people have dry, flaky lips. So what can we do for lips?
Okay, so around the holidays, everybody wants to wear red lipstick,
Mm-hmm.
and I wear red lipstick quite a bit. And I have, I'm one of these people where I have all these different red ranges. Probably it looks the same all the time, but some has more blue, some has more red. So I love red lipstick. And here's the problem with lipstick. First of all, number one, yes, lips get dry. But number two, you can be in your
Mm-hmm.
20s and you can have lip lines that don't even show. And there's just enough there,
Yeah.
the lipstick bleeds. And so
Mm-hmm.
again, nothing worse. You get to go to the bathroom and you find out that the lipstick is bled into all these lines.
Yeah.
So Marini Lips was designed specifically for this. And the way that you use this, it's not really a lip balm per se. In other words, it does make the lips feel better. But I'm going to give you a tip on dry lips in a minute. Okay, so what you do is I take an amount. It's smaller than the size of a pea. And I stick it right here. And I go rub it into my lips
Mm-hmm.
vigorously and all the way around. Now, I can wear red lipstick all day long. One time I had to speak at a medical conference in Salvador, Bahia in Brazil. And it
Uh-huh.
took me 24 hours. It took me 24 hours to get there. And my lipstick was still good.
Oh my gosh.
So it really can
Wow.
make a difference in the lip lines, the appearance of lip lines, and the bleeding. And it also gives it just a little bit more plumpness. Gives it a nicer, little crisper definition. But in terms of dry lips, so here's what you do. So you go home at night and you're using your Bioglycolic facial cleanser. So I take,
Mm-hmm.
my amount about the size of a quarter. It always goes on dry skin. I work it
Mm-hmm.
around really well, all the nooks and crannies. And then I take it off with my washcloth, my tepid water wrung out, and I kind of buff the skin to get all that dead skin. And then I scrub the heck out of my lips. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Scrub, 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 scrub. Now my lips are like satin. And then what I do is every single thing that goes on my face
Mm-hmm.
goes on your lips. People go, really? Well, why wouldn't you want to put all of those things on your lips?
Mm-hmm.
And I rub it in well. And of course, my Marini lips as well. Now, the last part before you go to bed, and your significant other probably is not going to like this. What you do is you take something that cannot sink in. It can be
Mm-hmm.
Aquaphor, it could be Vaseline, it could be lard.
Something occlusive.
Something, and you put that on as a barrier.
Okay.
When you wake up in the morning, your lips will still have it on, and they'll be, when you wash your face, your lips are just going to be so plump and juicy and soft. I never get dry lips.
That's
I had
amazing.
to go to another conference a year when it was like Chicago was having like the worst year in history, and it was like 20 degrees below zero. People's nose hairs were freezing when they came off the plane, and my
Oh my
lips
God.
didn't get dry. So this is really a great way. You have to be careful when you're doing lip balms, because what happens is people lick their lips,
Yeah.
and they actually can get a mild sort of a dermatitis that can make their lips even drier. So trust me, this really works.
With lips, I feel like sometimes people get in this vicious cycle of applying
Mm-hmm.
things and then their lips
Mm-hmm.
dry out and then trying to like keep up with it. So I find that too, that doing more of like a lip facial and then sleeping with something really heavy makes such a difference. I also
It
like to
does.
massage the lips, and massaging the lips really
Mm-hmm.
makes them plump and brings the color to them. That's what I
You
do.
have a ubicularis muscle around your lips. And what happens is one of the reasons why people get injections and they swell up so much is because it draws water, so much water right away. So when you massage, you're absolutely right. You can actually increase the circulation and you can plump up those lips.
Yep, I do it every morning. And I don't wear any lipstick. I just massage my lips and that's it. That's my lip color.
Oh my, that is your own lip color? That's amazing.
Yeah,
That
because
is,
I'm always massaging them. I swear it makes my lip color really bright. So it's my little
wow,
trick.
what a great idea.
Yeah, it works. Okay, so last question, and then we'll read everybody's comments and we'll answer their questions. You gave so much good advice, and hopefully people are going to take it and they will have beautiful skin for the holidays. But say they've ignored this whole thing and then it's like the 11th hour and they have something to do and somewhere to be. What is something that they can do right before they go out the door to make themselves look better, make their skin glow?
Okay. Well, there's the sugar cookie, limited edition sugar cookie exfoliator. And also, and I'm obsessed with these, our Marini multi-acid exfoliator.
Yep.
Now, what this is, it's a jar. You open it up and it has 30 pre-moistened pads with 4 different acids, so they work at different levels.
Yep.
And whether you've got acne, whether you're concerned with discoloration, fine lines, rosacea, any of those things, it makes a huge difference. And it makes a difference progressively over time. So all you do, you clean your face, you wipe one of these on your skin, you leave it on for 10 or 15 minutes, rinse it off, put the rest of your products on. Again, instant gratification. And this is something that really has some actual benefits beyond just doing it once. It's going to progressively really transform your skin and accelerate everything else that you're doing with the system. So if you have acne, it's going to clear it faster. Discoloration is going to look better. Fine lines and wrinkles is going to look better. So that is something you can do. I mean, that just takes just such a short period of time to really get your skin glowing.
And if somebody wanted to incorporate them, would you say maximum 3 times a week?
Usually 2 to 3 times a week. But you know, a lot of this depends on, like, we're in California. And so, of course, our climate is milder. And then someplace where it could be really cold and dry, some people literally, I do Cleanzyme and Skinzyme virtually every night unless I'm doing the pads. But if I were in, let's say, Colorado, in Denver or something, I might dial it down a little bit.
Yeah, and maybe lean more towards the enzymes and then just do the peel pad 1 time a week.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good routine. Okay, cool. All right, we have a lot of questions here. So I want to ask, actually, I had a follower message me after the last talk we did, and they were like, please ask Jan how she gets her hair so shiny. And I was like, I promise I'll ask. What do you do for your hair?
Oh my gosh. Oh, thank you so much. What a nice compliment. Okay, so let me just tell you. First of all, my hair is very naturally curly.
Oh, wow.
Secondly, my hair looks a lot lighter on Instagram Live. It's really more on the brown side, but I am a natural blonde.
Okay.
So I low light it. Okay, but what I do is I do the Keratin Complex hair straightening product. It's, you know, it's one of these things where you're straightening with keratin and it's a formaldehyde derivative, but what it does is that it kind of rebuilds the hair, but it leaves it incredibly shiny. And I take good care of my hair anyway, but it leaves it really shiny. And for most people, usually they do it about, I'm going to say every 3 months. Because I'm on camera so much, I do it about every 6 weeks. But it just, you know, makes the hair behave, and even if it's in humidity, and it makes it nice and shiny. So that's what I do.
And do you have a special,
thank you for the compliment.
Do you have a special shampoo or anything that you recommend?
Keratin Complex, I use the Color Care shampoo and the Keratin Complex Color Care conditioner. And I've had so many people that don't do the actual Keratin Complex system that love that shampoo and conditioner. I mean, it really, I believe, if I don't use that, even with doing my hair straightening, it wouldn't be as shiny.
Well, it's the shiniest hair I've ever seen.
Well, thank you. That's what a nice compliment.
It's true. All right, I'm trying to find the questions here. Someone asked, what's the difference between the MD and regular versions of they said of Duality and Luminate, but I think they're talking about the kits.
Well, the kit, actually the MD version has an extra product in it. So
Right.
the actual system itself is identical. And secondly,
Just says Luminate.
yes, we do make a regular Luminate, a Luminate MD, Retinol Plus, Retinol MD, Duality. Now, the difference is the actual technology is identical. The MD version has higher levels of retinol. Only difference.
Okay, got it. Another person asked, what do you do if you have a true allergy to benzoyl peroxide, but you're dealing with acne?
Oh, you know, I have to tell you, there is a small percentage of people who are allergic to benzoyl peroxide. I mean, you could be allergic to anything. And in those cases, we get very aggressive with the system. We get aggressive with retinol because retinol can make a huge difference, with pill pads, with anything that we can do to interrupt that acne process. And we're actually working on another technology that I hope to have out maybe second quarter that will also be not only great for aging, but also for acne as well.
Amazing. All right. I'm scrolling through. I got lost. I had another one and I lost it.
And by the way, one thing I want to mention about benzoyl peroxide, I have to tell you, so I use Duality every single night. When I was first working with benzoyl peroxide, I thought I was allergic to it because I got it kind of up too close to this area and my eyes literally swelled shut.
Oh, wow.
And I just assumed I was allergic to it. But if I just keep it away from that area. So apparently
Gotcha.
I react to it more in that area. So it can also be the formula. You could be something else in the formula that you're allergic to. So you can use a different formula and patch test it.
Patch test. Yeah, that's always the safest bet. I have just lots of waves and hellos. Somebody says, yes, hope we don't get shut down. I agree. Let's see. Everybody's saying that Duality changed their lives. People are loving Skinzyme, Cleanzyme.
Thank you. Thank you. It's so nice.
Luminate has given me the best skin of my life. I asked that question already. Okay, here we go. I caught up. Your SPF is the best thing that they've ever used. I'm trying to see, are there any more questions? Any more questions?
Well, let me mention something. While you're looking for the questions, I'll mention something about the SPF. Now,
sure.
I don't know which, we make 3 SPFs.
Yep.
But my favorite happens to be the SPF 33, which is, it's not, it doesn't have any tint in it. And then we make one that's completely non-tinted, that doesn't have any so-called chemicals. And then we make one that is tinted, that is a physical protectant. But I like the SPF 33. So what this does is, this has an unlimited capacity to absorb oil, but it cannot absorb actives and it cannot absorb water out of the skin. So you put this on, any skin type, if you're dry, it's like, oh my gosh, my skin is so balanced and so luminous. And if you're oily or combination, it just balances it out. And so that's why a lot of people love that sunscreen. But we make that same oil capture capacity in the tinted, and a lot of people wear that like if they would a foundation. And then we make one that's physical that doesn't have a tint, which is actually our newest one.
Nice.
And there's other technology in there as well.
Okay, a question somebody asked, what are your opinions on collagen supplements? Do you think they work? Do they do anything for the skin?
Okay. Well, first of all, in general, no, but I'd have to know more about the specific product. So one of the things that I have recommended over the years is a product called Biocell. Now, Biocell was actually originally researched having to do with elderly people that had really bad arthritic conditions. And what it is, it's a hyaluronic acid or the types of substances that give your joints cushioning, and it's attached to a peptide, because if you just take hyaluronic acid, basically, and it's also got some collagen in there, a certain type of collagen, it just gets ruined in the digestive process. And what they found in these individuals, not only were they getting relief from a lot of the symptoms of their arthritis, but they were saying things like, this is strange, but my skin is changing. It looks plumper, it looks smoother, my discoloration is less noticeable. And so this is something that I highly recommend. Now, I'd have to know more about specific collagen products. There was a product that came out years ago called Toki, T-O-K-I, and that also is hyaluronic acid, but it's got a peptide. It has a way, it might have some absorption in it. But the Biocell, definitely I have tremendous faith in it. It's about, you take about 2,000 milligrams a day, so it's 2 capsules. That's what was used in the clinical studies. And it comes under a number of different brand names. Make sure it's not combined with something else. You just want to get straight Biocell.
Okay, cool. Anything else, everyone? You can ask a question. Oh, here's a good one. Is the sugar cookie exfoliant safe for African American skin? Fits 4, 5, 6. Everybody's safe, right? All of your products
everybody is safe. And one of the issues when you get into more highly pigmented skin types is that sometimes it can look dull, it can look ashy, and these things brighten it up right away. Plus, I will tell you, you know, I had somebody recently that a male, and he's a professional dancer, and he's also a physical trainer, a professional trainer, and he was having problem because every time he would nick himself shaving, or if he'd get pseudofolliculitis barbae, he would literally get spots that would almost turn black.
Oh,
and
wow.
within a week of using the Luminant face lotion, it all changed. And also, he uses the pads, he uses a sugar cookie exfoliator, he uses a whole system, but it's literally transformed his skin. So particularly in darker skin types, they have more pigmentation issues, and it's really helpful when you resurface the skin in this manner.
Yeah. And I feel like all of your products are safe. We're not treating like different skin colors. We're not treating different Fitzpatricks, and we're not treating genders. Skin is skin, right? So they're safe for everyone. We are
treating the concerns and providing solutions.
Right. Somebody wants to know how they can use Duality and Luminate together. What would you recommend? Should they alternate or use them every day? I use them both.
They can use them every day.
Yeah.
So here's the system itself. The products are numbered. And number 3 is BioClear. Number 4 is Transformation Cream. And so we consider in between those two 3.5. So 3.5 is where you put in your accelerators. And you can mix and match all you want. So you do your BioClear, for example. I put on my Hyla 3D. At night, I put on my Luminate, blah, blah, blah. And then I go on with my hydrator. So you just stick them right in there, 3.5.
So I can layer Luminate and Duality at the same time and no problem.
Yes, you can layer virtually anything at the same time with no problem. Now, the only exception to that rule when it comes to accelerators is booster.
Right. And
booster goes on before siesta, so right after you clean. And that's a very, very high level anti-aging technology.
Got it.
That we can add into people's problem. It has to do with telomeres and telomerase enzyme and all that, but it's really unique.
And then what about using Luminate during the day? Because I've been doing that as well. Totally fine.
You can. So usually what people do is they acclimate to the system first, then you start adding in these accelerators. And depending on your particular skin issue, once you acclimate to adding that in, some people do go day and night. Absolutely. And that's where this is where Candace comes in. So here's the thing. The reason you don't find these products, there's a lot of reasons you don't find them at Nordstrom's or you don't find them at, Neiman Marcus or something like that, is because we want them to be professionally managed.
Mm-hmm.
And so many times people will come up to me and they'll say, oh yeah, I love your products. And I'll say, oh, what are you using? And they're using one or two things, and they may not be using what is really going to give them the benefits or the exceptional results. So in Candace, you have an expert. You have somebody who
Thank you.
really knows how to do this and how to get those kinds of benefits.
Well, thank you,
So,
Jan. That's a nice compliment. I love working with skin, and I think that that's why another reason I love your brand so much is because you really see the benefits when you work with a professional that can manage the conditions of the skin with the client, somebody that's going to keep in touch. My clients we text, and they're sending me pictures and updating me, and it's great because then I can track their progress and know when to add something in. So that's, just one of the many reasons that I'm in love with your brand and how you work with professionals.
Well, thank you. I have to tell you, I was doing an interview this morning, and a question came up, and they said, so if I'm, I use drugstore products and things, and I think my skin is doing okay. So why should I use your products?
Mm-hmm.
And so, I went back to that same thing. You ask yourself that question: if there's something I could change or improve. So if you can take your skin and go like this and not see any bumps, if you feel like your skin is perfectly clear, you feel like it's glowing, it's luminous, it looks youthful, it's not, if it's not broken, then don't worry about it. But you know what? Every single person I've ever asked, and if I ask that person if there's something they could change or improve about their skin, I guarantee you they're not going to say, oh yeah, my skin is flawless. I look like I walked the red carpet in my sleep.
Right.
So then, without saying anything else, in my head I'm thinking, well, then how's Target working for you?
Right.
Because if your skin is really, you've been able to address every one of your concerns, great. But if not, the average woman has over $600 in product in her bathroom, in product that she does not use.
Right.
And that's actually from a few years ago, so statistically it's quite a bit higher than that.
Jan, if you went into my bathroom, you'd freak out. It's like Sephora. I just use my little things, but for some reason I like to have all of these extra things in the cabinet. It just looks very like a store. So I keep them, but I only use the products that I use. It's bad.
Well, as a product researcher, I've been doing this for 40 years. I swear to God, I could have retired a long time ago on the amount of money I've spent on researching product.
Oh,
and
I'm sure.
I really feel for people because it is a maze out there, and you hear so much rhetoric and so many claims, and how do you shift through this maze and really get to something that is going to provide a solution?
Right. And that's where seeing a professional comes in. There's so many brands out there, and there might be brands that they're fine, whatever. It might make your skin look and feel good. But for me, those brands a lot of them are very expensive. So I always educate my followers and my clients to put your money into the products that have research behind them, that do clinical trials, because otherwise you're just putting your money towards packaging and marketing dollars.
It's true. And so one of the things that I did when I started out as a product researcher is I used to lecture to physicians and medical professionals and skincare professionals, because when you pick up that product and you look at the label that's mysterious and complicated, how do you know if it's really going to have an effect on lines and wrinkles? Is it really going to work on discoloration? Is it going to make your acne better? Is it going to make it worse? And so I lecture a lot to kind of decipher all of that. And it's a maze. It really is a maze.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think we're about to get kicked off, but I wanted to say thank you so much for doing this. Somebody asked more about anti-aging and nutrition. The last live that we did, it's saved on my page and it's on IGTV. It's so much in depth about it.
Oh yeah, it gets into all the anti-aging, the drugs that are going through the FDA. I mean, yeah, guys, you have to listen to that one. That was a lot of fun.
That was our most popular one, actually. I had so many people. Really? Yeah, people were really into that. So we might have to do a round 2 at some point. But in the meantime, you guys can refer back to that if you're looking for nutrition and all the anti-aging secrets, because Jan totally knows all of it, and she shared it with us. So Take a peek at IGTV. And Jan, thank you. I hope you have a great Thanksgiving.
Aw,
And
thank you, you too, and thank you, everybody. I
I'll see you
appreciate you so
soon.
much, and I wouldn't be
We're
here
doing
if it wasn't
another
for
one
you.
in like a week or two, right?
I think so. I can't remember what it's on, but I know we're doing something.
We're doing one. It's coming up soon. I'll post about it. But in the meantime, you guys can watch
Great.
the old ones. All right. Bye, Jan.
Can't wait. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.